Hello and welcome to ILTV's Israel Daily. I'm Aaron Porras. And before we begin, we want to again thank the thousands of you who've already subscribed to our new streaming platform, ILTV+. Your support is helping us to bring you the best and most unique content from Israel every day. Now, coming up in today's newscast, Hamas terrorists kicking their manhunt into high gear following a prison break in the Strip. Meantime, a heinous anti-Semitic hate crime on the eve of Holocaust Memorial Day. And finally, Israeli President Herzog arriving in the Emirates for a historic landmark visit. To begin, the WHO suggesting that the coronavirus pandemic on its way to becoming downgraded to an endemic disease. But here in Israel, it seems that the infections are only on the rise. Over 100 dying just this weekend, and hospital staff warning of severe overcrowding on the horizon. With me to discuss is Dr. Eyal Leshem, Director of the Center for Travel Medicine and Tropical Diseases at Sheba Medical Center. Doctor, thank you so much for being with us. Now, are hospitals in Israel overrun or on the verge of being overrun? What are the numbers?
Well, we have crossed the threshold of 1,000 hospitalized cases with COVID this week. However, many of these hospitalized, the reason for their admission is different than severe COVID. Only about 200 have severe COVID. So certainly better than what we experienced a year ago during the third wave. And overall, we are able to continue functioning with shifting some personnel and some resources from other non-urgent services.
So hospitalizations, even though we're talking about severe hospitalizations, the COVID infection is not necessarily the most concerning here?
Yes, COVID is not necessarily the primary reason for getting admitted. For some persons, it's trauma or a scheduled surgery, and as they get screened when they enter the hospital, we discover that they are infected with COVID. However, it doesn't cause severe disease or symptoms. Many of those mentioned are vaccinated, and that's why Israel is not experiencing a higher disease burden.
All right, so is Israel in general, in your opinion, dealing with this pandemic properly today? Because just this week, the Green Pass policies were extended again, for example.
Absolutely. Israel, several things help Israel as a country to continue functioning during such high levels of transmission. One is the very high level of vaccinated that we have, especially in persons at risk. More than 85%, 90% of persons over the age of 60, 70 are vaccinated with 3 doses, and their risk of severe disease is very low. The other thing that helps us a lot to function is the fact that some 500,000 people got a 4th dose that seems to reduce the rates of severe disease and hospitalization by another half. And then the most important is that the strategic decision of the government not to discontinue education and commerce, to allow people to continue going to school and work in spite of high levels of transmission, which we can deal with in the hospitalization system.
All right. So again, though, are there policies that you would suggest be added or removed or changed beyond what's currently on the books?
No, I think in general the policy that's being decided on during this Omicron wave, which is very different than previous waves, is very adequate. And specifically the decision to bring back schools without quarantine for exposed pupils, which balances the acute need for routine education with the very low risk of severe disease in kids. Is very appropriate. And I think as a whole, Israel, since the vaccines were rolled out, deals with the disease in a very reasonable and sensible way.
So then, despite the WHO saying that maybe it's a little too soon to start treating or changing policy to that of in dealing with an endemic disease. Do you think to watch full episodes of ILTV's Israel Daily and tons of other content from Israel, visit our website at iltv.tv or download the ILTV Plus app.